What's up, Lantern fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, the co-host of the Emerald Echo podcast. Here with a look at the DC Collectibles Green Lantern the Animated Series statue of the Red Lantern leader himself, Atrocitus. I simply can't wait to get a look at this statue up close, but before I do, let's take a closer look at the box details. On the front of the box, it says Atrocitus statue, and we get a close-up product shot. On this side, we get a full-body product shot. We see that the statue was sculpted by Dave Cortez. And on the back, we get headshots of the other characters who have statues in this set. The back also features a brief product description. If you'd like to read this, go ahead and pause the video and do so now. On the opposite side, we get a close-up product shot of this statue. On the top of the box, we see the Green Lantern the Animated Series logo. And on the bottom, there are very few details. So with all that being said, now it's time to bust this statue out of the package and see what's inside. And here we see Atrocitus out of the package and ready to rumble. I am delighted to finally have this statue in my collection. I have been looking for it for a decent price for quite some time. There are so few premium collectibles of Green Lantern villains that I was not about to give up on this statue. I only have a couple of very minor criticisms of it, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the loose details of this release from DC Collectibles. So let's start with a look at the lower body of this statue. Atrocitus is stepping up onto this base. Only 1 foot is on the base, however, this is a very sturdy statue. You can see some product details here underneath the base. I do like how clean that looks. I really love the paint choice here. This really reflects the way Atrocitus looked on the series. I would have preferred him to be lined up with the front of the base, and some people will say that I'm splitting hairs there, but that's just how I feel about that. The sculpting on these boots is magnificent. Now, I know that some people may look at this and say that the quads are too small in relation to the calves, but that is accurate to the series. Remember, this is based on an animated design. Here's a closer look at the torso, and I really like these sculpted side sections here with the red paint. Those have been done very well. A little bit of dust on this. The paint applications are very tight, very exact. I really like how dynamic this pose is. It's simple, but it really works. If you're wondering about the Red Lantern core symbol, it is sculpted very well. You can feel the edges of the symbol. It's extremely well done. Here's a closer look at the left arm, and this red metallic paint is just so gorgeous. And here's a closer look at the fist. And this fist looks very realistic. You can see folds in the skin, and it looks like bones underneath. This is some really impressive sculpting. Here's a closer look at the gauntlet and the right arm, and I really like how this right hand is curled into a claw. This is indicative of Atrocitus's character and how menacing he was on the series. And much like the other hand, this looks very realistic. I often say that a ring that has been executed poorly can sink a Lantern collectible, and that is certainly not the case here. The ring is the proper size. It has been sculpted with the edges looking like they go around the finger, and you can actually see the Red Lantern core symbol in the middle. So this is some superb sculpting here by DC Collectibles. Here's a closer look at these massive shoulder armor pieces. And according to the box, this statue is 8¼ inches high, 8 inches wide, and 6 inches deep. So there is definitely some size and heft to this statue. And once again, you can see the light dancing off of this red paint that just looks so exquisite. And now let's take a look at the head sculpt. Atrocitus looked very different in the animated series than he usually does in the comics. And this piece really captures that look. You can see the battle scars around his eye and his mouth. The face is the right shape. Now, I won't say that this is inaccurate, but I do feel like maybe a dark wash could have been applied to the neck to make it look just a little more realistic. But there's very little to complain about with the execution of this head sculpt. So now I'll give you shots of different angles of the face, and I really like how this sneer looks. It's very nasty and threatening. Here's a look at the top of the head, and you can see all of these bony protrusions that have been sculpted very well on this statue. Here's a side view of the head, and you can see just how well the paint applications have been executed on the mouth and the eyes. And the dark wash that has been applied to this area really brings it all together. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend to do the same. Also remember to catch me on the Emerald Echo podcast as part of Multiverse Musings, the vidcast, and that's available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back with more Green Lantern related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.